hands have increased, so our knowledge has to increase. And so Mark's going to present. He'll get some Q&A. Got some handout. Everybody make sure you got a handout. We'll stream this so people can come back and watch it and just see all the information you might need, all right? So let's say amen for attorney brother Mark McKinney.
Amen. Thank you, Pastor, for inviting me tonight. I appreciate it. Can everybody hear me? They gave me a microphone, but I kind of talk with my hands and maybe it'd be a bit easier as long as everybody can hear me. Can everybody get one of these handouts when you came in? I have plenty to make sure that everybody has one. And there's going to be some extras. We'll pass those out. You can give them to your friends who weren't able to make it tonight. As Pastor Danny said, my name is Mark McKinney. I'm one of the deputy Commonwealth attorneys here for the city of Chesapeake, working with Mr. Hamill, who was just reelected. Thank you for keeping my job. One of the tasks that I have is heading up and helping out with the elder abuse task force that Mr. Hamill started when he was first elected 4 years ago. What we focus on when we say elder abuse in that task force, obviously there's physical abuse, but we have a lot of resources that go towards physical abuse. Many told me you're in nursing, so I know you get trained on physical abuse and how to handle the elderly and how to handle the disadvantaged and folks that are disabled all the time. There's less resources and less information out there about financial health. Because when our aging population gets to the point where they are not keeping up technologically sometimes you get a little isolated. Scammers and people who want to take advantage of primarily elderly folks, but these scams that we're going to talk about tonight cover everybody. But we try to take those cases extra special here in Chesapeake because we owe that to our citizens, and we owe that to the people who, blazed the trail for us to be able to be here in the first place. So Mr. Hamill started the Elder Abuse Task Force, and that's one of the things that I work with. We have resources throughout the community, private attorneys, the hospital, the law enforcement, federal authorities, and we get together on at least a quarterly basis and talk about those cases that kind of fall through the cracks. And we update each other on what we're seeing and trends in the community so that we can take this information back out to folks like you and try to inform you about what to look out for. When I'm talking about scams, I'm talking about people trying to steal from you. People that are going to try and take your money from you. But we're not talking about, coming into your house, sticking you up with a gun or something like that, old-fashioned robbery. These people are going to trick you, try to get you to give it to them and just hand it over because they have said something to you, put you in a position where you feel like you need to do that, and you're giving up your hard-earned money to somebody who does not deserve it. Okay? So I'm going to go through in the handout that you have here. There are different types of things that I want you to look out for, different types of scams that we see commonly that are out there, that are tried over and over and over again. And with the advent of technology, with the increase of technology, particularly with artificial intelligence, AI is the buzzword. Unfortunately, the bad guys usually outpace the good guys. They certainly outpace the law. And they are looking for ways to use new technology, to use artificial intelligence to make their scams even more realistic so that they can get more money from those people that they're taking advantage of. I don't want any of you to be victims, so that's why I took this opportunity when the invitation came to come and talk to you tonight. So right on the first page here you have what's called and I wanted to start with this one, the shopper cell phone scam. That's kind of what I'm calling it. This time of year, everybody's out doing some Christmas shopping. A lot of us do our online shopping, but there's still people that go to the mall. There's still things you got to get. If nothing else, you're going to go to the grocery store, right? Or you're going to get gas. We have seen over the last couple of years a serious uptick in people coming up to you while you are shopping, most likely between your car and the business that you're going in and out of. And they will come up to you and they will seem like they are in some kind of distress. Oh my gosh, I just lost my phone. I need to call. A lot of times this will be a person who looks really young. can you help me? I lost my phone. I got to call my mom. Can I borrow your phone? I just got to call and get my ride. My mom's going to kill me. Can you help me? Now, every one of us is a good person. We want to help people when they are in need. So that scam is preying on your desire to do a good deed. I'm sure you all talk about this as a church all the time. I know we do at my home church. Where are the opportunities that God puts in front of us that we can help somebody in need? Unfortunately, this is a scam oftentimes. And what that person does is take your phone. And when they have your phone in a little bit of time, literally just a few moments, they will be on your phone tapping. It looks like they may be calling somebody, but they're not. They are going into your phone using either Venmo, Cash App, if you have either one of those things. They're finding out if you have those things. And they are transferring money out of your account and into theirs. And it takes just like that. I'm sure you all have children or grandchildren, and you've seen them type on those phones. They can do it a lot faster than I can. My thumbs would break if I could try to do it as fast as they do. But they can do it just like that. And then they hand your phone back. That app is closed. They say thank you, and they walk away. And you don't know what just happened until you see your bank account, until you get some kind of notice. Oh my goodness, where is this? What had happened? Okay? The other thing that they can do, because technology is built by businesses, particularly banks, wanting to do customer service, it's very easy nowadays for you to go online and make a loan application. You can do that on your phone in just a couple minutes, in clicking just a few boxes, because these phones, these smartphones that we all have now, they pre-populate. You pull something up, and it will put your name in there, put your address in there, put your information in there automatically. You don't necessarily have to type it in. And with just a few swipes on your phone and pre-populated, at certain banks that have a little bit more lax security than others, these people in a few minutes can apply for a loan in your name. Now they get a loan, they get it transferred to the account that they put in there. The deposit account they put in there is their own. And then you don't even know they took out a loan in your name until 6 months down the road you get a collections notice. And you're like, what is this? I never did this loan. And we go back and we check and we have, and I have to tell you, as law enforcement, when we're talking about that passage of time, it's almost impossible for us to try and locate that thing. So, what I want you to remember is, yes, you will have opportunities to help people when you're shopping. There are people out there who are in need, and I don't discourage you from helping people in need. What I'm discouraging you from doing, do not hand your cell phone to anyone. Okay? If you encounter one of these people while you're shopping who needs help and wants to use your phone, and they're really good about this, they'll give you you say, hey, no, I'll dial the number for you. I'll put it on speakerphone. Do not hand your phone over. They'll give you a number, it won't work. You do another number, it won't work. They'll say, just let me type it in. Don't do it. That's the lesson I want you to take away from this tonight. If somebody who you do not know comes to you and says, let me use your phone, particularly if you are out and about in the world, in a parking lot, at the gas station, whatever you're doing at a convenience store, and somebody you don't know wants to use your phone, the hairs on the back of your neck should stick up. The red flag should be waving. Do not hand that out. Okay? Now, that's what I want to talk about first, because that's what we see a lot in this time of year when people are out shopping. Similar to that, and all these other scams that are listed here in this packet that we've given for you, there's a common thread. In order for a scam to work, you have to be put on edge. You as the target or the victim have to be put on edge. What the scammer is going to try and do is make you make decisions and act without time to think about it. They need you to act quickly, right now. It's an emergency situation. you don't have time to reflect. You don't have time to think about this and think to yourself, does that really make sense? Because it got you spun up and your emotions are running high. That's the common thread. So whatever we talk about tonight, whatever type of scam that we're going to go over, that's what you're going to see over and over again. And I want you all to remember that you are in charge. You can take the time, as much time as you need, to ask questions, to think it through, to not make a snap decision immediately. Because the other thing that's going to be common with this, except for a couple, you're going to be dealing with people you don't know. So those red flags, I want them to be visible for you when you're going through this. I want you to be able to think to yourself, this doesn't feel right. And what should I do besides giving this person access to my bank account, giving this person money, giving this person a credit card? Okay? So the next one you have in your packet is called the computer support scam. This has been around for a long time. This one targets the elderly primarily because it is the elderly and older folks who are a little less up on newer technology. And somebody will contact you saying that you're their computer support from Microsoft or one of the other Google or one of the other big technology companies. They will call you, or you will get a message on your pop-up on your computer screen, and you'll click on it, and it'll take you to them, and it'll have you. Somehow you will get in face-to-face with them, okay, or on a phone call with them, and they will say that your computer has this virus. You can't use it, but I can try to walk you through it. In order for me to do that, you're going to have to give me the password and let me have remote control of your computer. And when you've done that, you've opened up your entire life. Because right now, here we are at the end of 2025, going into 2026, we live in a digital world. It's very hard to be analog anymore. It's very hard not to be beholden to technology. There are places that don't even take cash anymore because they want everything digital. So it's easy as that technology advances for those of us with white beards to not necessarily keep up as quickly as the younger folks who are exposed to this more readily. But any time you are contacted by an outsider that they came to you, you didn't go to them, and they say, I need remote access to your computer, do not do it. Absolutely say no. Now, there's going to be some other scams that you'll see in this packet where your computer can be ransomware and malware, and they can actually take over accidentally if you click on something wrong. Nothing is going to be able to bring back what they can get into and take. If you're like me, your computer does have access to your bank account. It does have important documents and information about your life. They will then have access to all of that. They will know your social security number. They will know your date of birth. They will know your bank account. They will know your passwords. And they can wipe you out in an instant. And I want you to be cognizant of two things. One, Microsoft, Google, all of those big technology companies are never going to call you. They're just not. Those companies are massive. They are multi-billion-dollar international companies. They have their fingers in the pies all over the whole world. They do have customer support that you can call in and get help for, but that customer support is never going to call you. So if you get a pop-up on your screen that says this is Microsoft support, this is Apple support, this is Google support, don't buy it, okay? If you have an actual computer issue, find somebody you trust. If you have children, grandchildren, neighbors, church members who are good with technology, talk to them. Other than that, call a reputable company. There are computer companies companies out there. There are people who are in business to do these kind of repairs and fix it. And you can have a face-to-face conversation. You go to them. When you're buying things online, you go to them. That's a lot safer. If somebody comes to you, you want those red flags to come up. Computer support is never going to reach out and call you first, okay? The next one is crypto investing. That's one of the new, terms. And I got to tell you, I don't really understand cryptocurrency. I know dollars and cents. I know checks. I know gold. I know what money was for most of the 20th century when I was growing up. This crypto, digital stuff confuses me, but I know it exists. But I also know because it's unregulated. It is not issued by a government. It is unregulated. It is digital format. It is online only. It is the Wild West. There are no regulations, and there are a lot of scams. Now, I have friends that invest in crypto. I know people that have made a lot of money, so they say, in online crypto investing. And I'm not trying to say that crypto is something that is evil. It is not. What I'm saying to you is that if somebody comes to you with a get-rich-quick scheme, be wary. Be scared. If you don't understand it, you probably ought not jump at it. Okay? The way these crypto investing things work a lot of times, they've actually come up with ATMs. You can go into different parts of convenience stores. There will be Bitcoin ATMs. You can be contacted by somebody who says that they have this great investment for you. They're going to give you this crypto account, and you can access it by going to these ATMs. A lot of times what they're doing, and again, usually with our older population, they are a lot of organized crime using what we call money mules. You're unwitting and you don't know. They are trying to move money through crypto because it's unregulated, because the government can't track it. Illegal activities can go on and be paid for that way on the dark web. But at some point, that's got to turn into real money. These ATMs pop up. They will tell you that I'm making this deposit in you. You have this investing. You make this small deposit. They'll get you trapped into thinking that, they've overpaid you, or you've overpaid them, they got to get back, and they will start having you go to this ATM and make withdrawals, drop it off somewhere else, make deposits, and then it's gone, and you start doing their work for them. You're doing the legwork. It's called money mule. You don't have any nefarious intent. You don't have any malice in your heart. You don't even know what you're doing is illegal. But you've been trapped into this kind of scam. So I labeled it under crypto investing because that's kind of the new buzzword, and that's where the new scams are coming up. But really, this type of scam can be said for any type of investment. You've all heard of the Ponzi scheme, where somebody talks about this, good deal that, if you invest, I start paying you back, and what they're really doing is I take your money and I pay you a little bit. I take her money, I pay you a little bit. And everybody feels like at the top, when we first started, you getting paid back, like, hey, I invested $10,000 and he's already giving me back, monthly payments. I see my statement says I still got money there, and I'm getting monthly payments on top of this. This is a great thing. Well, what you're doing is robbing somebody else to pay you. It's a false. There's not any real money there. It's just moving a shell game around to make it look like that. Crypto is no different than that. Anytime somebody comes to you with an investment opportunity, do your homework. Talk it over. Get whatever documentation they have. Research it. Google, is a great thing because you have the information right there. See what it says about this investment that they're coming up with. do some research on the person who's bringing it to you. Is this a licensed investment counselor? Is this a financial planner that you're working with? Or is this just somebody who is a friend of a friend and you met, by happenstance? Be smart. Don't make rash decisions. Don't fall for the, you have to act now, this is only going to be here today. I got to have an answer right now. Because if somebody wants your money, wants you to part with your money, and they say you have to make that choice and give it to me right now, sounds like they need your money. But you also are going to need your money. So think it through. Don't act too fast. So the next few we have here, it's called the grandparent or parent scam, and then the law enforcement imposter. These we're seeing a lot, especially with AI, as I was talking about earlier. A lot of times the way this will work is you will get a phone call. You will get a phone call from somebody that says you have a family member in trouble, probably just got arrested. AI is so good right now that they can fake the voices. And all of these kids, that's why we call it the grandparent, because it works, If you have grandkids, I promise you they're on social media. And they're filming each other all the time. Now, when we were kids, we didn't have these cell phones and we didn't videotape everything. Thank you, Lord, for not having that when I was a kid. But it's very simple now with the technology for somebody to go onto a social media site, take a video that somebody else has posted. It can be, a birthday party or whatever kind of gathering, something that has no ill intent with it whatsoever. Capture that information, capture that voice, run it through the AI, and recreate that voice. So now you get a phone call that says, little Johnny just got arrested. He's in jail. It might even be little Johnny's voice. It might sound like your grandchild on the phone, talking to you, saying, hey, I'm in jail, I need bail money. I need help. Now, remember what I said. These scams are designed to get you to act quickly, to get you off base, to get you stirred up emotionally so that you don't have time to think or want to think. If you hit a call from your child or your grandchild that says, I'm in trouble, we're all going to react emotionally to that. Okay? You have to be diligent and vigilant to not fall subject to that. That phone call is going to be something to the effect of, I'm in trouble and I need money right now. The red flag for you, because like I said, it may sound like a voice that you recognize. The red flag for you is going to be how they tell you they need the money. Okay? They're going to ask you to wire this money, run out to Western Union or somewhere like that. Or they're going to tell you, I need you to go get me some Apple gift cards and read off the numbers. Something beyond, I need you to come down here with your checkbook and bail me out. They will not allow you or want you to see face to face. They will not want you to come to where they are. And they will not want you to call other family members and friends to talk about it. Little Johnny on the phone is going to say, please don't call my parents. They're going to kill me. Please don't call my parents. Don't tell mom. Don't tell dad. Don't tell whoever. I'm going to get in trouble. And that's how they get you wrapped in emotion. But you got to have that minute to yourself to think. If my grandson, my granddaughter, whoever it is, got in trouble and got arrested and got taken to jail, why would I need to go get gift cards? That's the disconnect. But I'm telling you, it works. It's very hard in that moment when you're spun up emotionally. We're talking about it now. It seems silly. When you're thinking about it, it seems silly. It doesn't seem silly in the moment when you're spun up and you're emotional and you just want to be there for your family. Okay? But you've got to take that minute to think, does this make sense? Okay? Similar to that is the law enforcement imposter. And we had this happen here in Chesapeake just last year. Again, social media. People post on social media. One of the things that people can find out about you on social media is your job. We had a group here that was impersonating a sheriff's department employee. He was a lieutenant in the sheriff's department. They used his name. And if you Googled that person's name, you came up with this lieutenant at the Chesapeake Sheriff's Department. And the scam was that he called, gave you that name, and said, you missed jury duty. I have a warrant for your arrest. Now, none of us want to be arrested. None of us are bad people. We're not criminals. And so we are taken back by that. You get on the phone, somebody says, I have a warrant for your arrest. You're about to go to jail yourself. Again, that emotion is welling up. You're getting you off your feet here. Getting you not thinking. The next thing is, you can buy your way out of this. You can pay the fine now. Okay? Now, let me say, just like I said with Microsoft, Google, Apple, the big companies are never going to call you. Law enforcement is never going to call you and say, I have a warrant for you. We may come and knock on your door and say, are you Mr. or Mrs. Smith? We're never going to give you a phone call to say there's a warrant for you. That's never going to happen. If it does happen, maybe I shouldn't say never, speaking in absolutes. But if it does happen, you're never going to be able to buy your way out of it over the phone. I can promise you that. That's not how that works. Okay? But I have a case here in Chesapeake where a woman got this phone call, fell for this scam, was so emotional, so torqued up, so unable to think rationally in that moment, and gave up $15,000 of her own money. She didn't have $15,000. She ran to her bank and took out a personal loan and drove it to meet a stranger at a parking lot because she didn't take the few minutes it took to think about, does this make sense? Okay? So if you get a call from somebody that says, I am law enforcement, here's what I want you to do. Give me your name. Give me your badge number. Give me your phone number. I will call you back. Because if they're calling you from a law enforcement agency, you can find out what the real number is. And you can call that number and say, I got a phone call purportedly from Deputy so-and-so, from Officer so-and-so, from Agent so-and-so, who says he works for you and had something to do with arresting me. Do you know anything about that? Again, you reaching out, not them reaching to you. If anybody says, I can help you get out of this, but you got to go get gift cards, cash, meet me somewhere other than the law enforcement office, don't fall for it. I know it sounds silly, and you think to yourself, I would never fall for something like that. The largest portion of loss, of financial loss in America, or frankly in the world, is through financial scams just like what I'm talking about tonight. The most recent statistics that I have are from 2023. In 2023, there's an estimate in the United States alone that through these scams that I'm talking to you about tonight, $23 billion was lost and stolen and taken from victims. Now you think about that. guarantee you that number is probably 3 or 4 times bigger than that. Because so often people get taken advantage of, particularly again the elderly who are preyed upon. And they get embarrassed. Because they look back and say, how could I possibly be so stupid? They feel awful. I don't want anybody to know what has happened to me. And they don't report it. They don't talk about it. They just suffer. I don't want any of you to have to deal with that ever. Or any of your friends to have to deal with that ever. So the common theme again, if it doesn't feel right, if it doesn't sound right, if the person refuses to allow you to take time to research and think, they are trying to steal from you. You have worked for a long time. That is your money that you are entitled to. Oftentimes, it's even money you might not really have the ability to part with. Don't let them take advantage of you in that way if you can avoid it. Microsoft, Google, and Apple, that one is kind of the same as what we talked about before with the support. So I'm going to skip over that and go to the romance scams. Romance and online dating. This one is frankly near and dear to my heart. My mother, my own mother, has fallen victim to a romance scam. She's a widow. My father passed away, and she got lonely. That happens. People are alone. They get lonely. When somebody dies, there's loss felt there. She was contacted through social media by somebody, maybe heard the term catfishing. You pretend to be somebody you're not. She was contacted through social media. They started communicating. Let me get your email address. Let me get your phone number. Now we've started, this is a long-term scam. We've started communicating one-on-one, text messages, emails, never once meeting face-to-face. Because you can't. Because the person that's face-to-face is not the person that you've seen pictures of online. No phone calls. Because I don't want you to hear my accent. The reason I say that is that 95% of the romance scams come out of the country of Nigeria. And that accent would be very easy to detect to an American victim. The other part of that, unfortunately, is that most of those scams fund terrorism. You all have probably heard of the group Boko Haram. They do a lot of nasty things, particularly to the Christian population in their part of the world. They pull a lot of these romance scams. But it's happened, like I said, to my own mother. So this is something that I take deeply seriously. Because after what happened, after this relationship is built, this false relationship is built, all of a sudden now, hey, I got a financial problem. Can you help me out? Can you maybe loan me some money? I'll pay you back when I get back to America, when I get back to town. There's always a promise of, we're going to be together forever. You're the love of my life. But then it becomes, hey, I need a little bit more. What you gave me didn't go as far as I thought it would. And again, the payments, you're either going to be asked to wire money to an account that's likely going to be a foreign account, or you're going to be asked to go buy gift cards. The easiest thing for you to do, so where I am, I can use those gift cards, those Apple gift cards, or those Target gift cards, or Walmart gift cards. Just give me that instead of actual cash. Just take a picture of it on your phone and give me the numbers. Those should be red flags for you. Now, as I said, this happened in my own family, happened to my own mother. But people do get lonely. And again, when they are alone and widowed perhaps, they don't think, they don't want to worse than that, sometimes they don't even really care. You have to speak to an elderly man who was in a nursing facility in Richmond. He got scammed by one of these catfishing romance scams. And this is what he said to the FBI special agent that we were working with when he was interviewed about the money. And he had given up probably, I think, a little over $20,000 in about a 6-month period to this female love of his life. He said, yeah, it sounded too good to be true. I knew she probably wasn't real. But to be honest with you, I didn't have anything else to do with my time anyway. It is a very sad scenario when you have somebody who is so lonely and so down on their luck that they are willing to part with their hard-earned cash and make themselves destitute in order just to have human contact. I saved this one kind of for the end because I knew I was speaking to you all in this church setting tonight. In the church setting, I'm going to take off my prosecutor hat. This is just going to be Mark talking to you for a minute. And this is not on behalf of the Commonwealth Attorney. We are called to love our neighbor. We are called to help one another. Whenever we have an opportunity, whenever we see somebody who is lonely, hurting, needs that human connection, and again, that happens a lot in our elderly population, my request of you as a fellow person of Christ is to reach out. Just talk to him. Because if this gentleman in the nursing home facility that I just talked to you about, he's surrounded by people. He's in a facility full of human people. And yet he's all alone. All alone to the degree that he's willing to just hand out money to somebody he knows probably isn't doing anything but robbing him blind. If you are led by the Holy Spirit to reach out to somebody, take that opportunity. And that kind of flies in the face of how I started this talk tonight. Do it in a safe and confident manner where you are in control. But be on the lookout for your neighbors, for your friends, parents. Stories that you hear about somebody who has suffered a loss, somebody who may be turning into a shut-in, somebody who maybe you don't see as much anymore. Take that opportunity to make sure that person has the human connection and feels the love that they need from a community. All right, I'll get off my soapbox. Again, with all these scams, we're talking about, the very last one is the virtual kidnapping scam. That's the same as my grandson got arrested. The only difference is, hey, we got your kid. Pay the ransom. In every one of these scenarios, whether it's the individual who comes up to you in a parking lot, the person who reaches out to you on the phone, the person who sends you a pop-up on your computer, the common thread is always going to be, you must act now. Don't think now. I need your money now. You don't have time. This is an emergency. And quick. I want you, as you're going through your day-to-day life, to take a minute to think anytime somebody's asking you for money, does this seem right? Does it seem right because I'm getting something from them? Does it seem right because I know who they are? Does it seem right because I'm paying them in such a manner that I'm normally paying somebody? If they're asking you to just go get a bunch of gift cards and turn those over, that should be a red flag. If they're asking you to meet at some other place, some other location that you don't know and you're not familiar with, turn over something, that should be a red flag. If they reached out to you and you didn't reach out to them, that should be a red flag. It will never be a problem for you to take a minute, think, reflect, ask questions. The game show used to be phone a friend and get some help. Does this seem right to you? Because if you wait too long, if you give it to them, then it feels funny and you call. That has happened before. Hey, I just did this. Should I have done that? No, you shouldn't. It's too late now. I want you guys to not be victims. I don't want your friends to be victims. I don't want you to have to go through any kind of the hassle that comes with being the victim of a financial scam, because it has long-lasting effects and it's hard to undo a tangled web once it's done. So I have spoken now for far too long. I probably bored you to death, but I want to answer any questions that you all may have about anything that we've talked about. So I'll open the floor if anybody has any comments or questions or things that they want to ask specifically about, or stories where you've seen any of this in the community yourselves. You got a pretty safe group here, Pastor. Nobody's been taken advantage of.
Well, while we were talking, I got an email saying that I need to send some money to make sure that my iCloud, which is connected to my Apple account, I need to make sure I send some money to ensure that it doesn't get shut down.
Yep. How many people here have a smartphone? Most everybody, right? Do you get phone calls and text messages from numbers you don't recognize? Daily, right? Yep, daily. That's just another phishing exercise. That's what it's called, phishing. They're trying to get you to bite on something like that. Again, if you don't recognize it, if you don't know what they're talking about, if it's not a number that you recognize, you don't have to answer. You can cancel. You can hit, swipe the other way, hit the red button, whatever it is on your phone. Don't answer it. Don't fall for it. Okay? Same thing with emails. Phishing emails are very, very common as well. If you get an email solicitation from somebody, I would encourage you to look at the address very, very closely, because they will make it look like it's coming from a legitimate company. But Google might have 3 O's in it, or 2 G's side by side. It doesn't quite look right. Or if you take your pointer and you hover over that link, it'll go somewhere that is entirely different. Okay? So be vigilant when we're dealing with technology, whether it's your cell phone, text messages, emails, phone calls, pop-ups. Be vigilant. And if somebody is asking you for money, make sure you know who they are, what it's going for, why they need it, and make a reasoned and rational decision to give it up and not just act emotionally. Okay? I want to thank you guys for listening to me tonight. I appreciate you guys coming out. Again, I'll have these handouts. If there's people that couldn't make it tonight because they don't drive at night or whatever the reason may be, please take some and hand them out. I'll leave these here at the church for others who couldn't be with us tonight. But if you have any questions, I'm going to stick around for a few minutes if you maybe don't want to talk in open, and I'll answer anything that you guys have. If you have any questions, if you ever feel like you've been victimized, if you ever feel like you've been taken advantage of and something is not right, you can reach out to the Commonwealth Attorney's Office. My name is Mark McKinney. I handle the Elder Abuse Task Force. I handle a lot of financial crime prosecution. I work very closely with the fraud unit from the Chesapeake Police Department. I may not be the starting point, but if you call me and you need help, I will point you where you need to go so that we can take care of, hopefully, making things right for you. Okay? Yes, ma'am. On the local level, we do okay. If it's somebody that, if you know, 'cause a lot of theft happens within established relationships. We're pretty successful on that. Some of these scams that I'm talking about tonight, particularly when they're international, unfortunately, no. There's not much that we can do. If we act quickly enough, a lot of times we can get the banks to act and reverse funds, maybe save some money. But as far as prosecution and catching them, it's not usually easy to do, no, man, unfortunately. Which is why we have to act quickly. Any other questions? Yeah, thank you very much.
Can you share tips? Tips, like one of the things I do when I'm shopping online is I have a designated credit card, shop online with, not a debit card. Because debit card is my money, credit card is credit card company's money. They could easily get that money back on the credit card, but not easily get my money back as it relates to it if something happens. So tips like that.
Certainly. So that is a very good tip, particularly for shopping online. And when you're shopping online, it is a better idea for you personally to shop with a credit card than a debit card. For the reason that Pastor Dan just said. A credit card is the credit card company's money. That is Visa's money, MasterCard's money, okay, that you're using. And if it's a scam, and you get scammed, and you tell them it's scam, they are at the loss. They will refund you. You will not have to pay that, okay? That's part of their customer service. So a lot of times what people will do is have one specific credit card account for whatever, amount that you want to have. But that credit card itself will be the only number that you ever put out online. You do not put your personal debit card out online. Do not put any of your other credit cards if you have more than one online. But that one designated online shopping account. And you can do that for your phone or your computer. And that's the only number when you're shopping online. And I'm talking about legitimate shopping. We all shop at Amazon. I mean, they got us. Half the Christmas gifts coming to my house are coming from the same guy. He knows us all the time of year. But that account is the only account that goes to Amazon or goes to any of the other stores. And again, I'm reaching out to them, not them reaching out to me. But I'm sure you've seen the news articles where a store will get hacked. It's happened to Target, it's happened to Dick's Sporting Goods, it's happened to all the big ones. When they get hacked and they get customer information, they are getting that same number that you paid with. They're getting your credit information from the store. If you limit yourself to just that one account, as Pastor Danny said, then that's the only number they're getting. And they're not necessarily getting any of your personal bank account information. They're not getting any of your other account information. They're getting just that one designated shopping card. So if you don't have one, I encourage you to get one. You would make it a credit account. Now, your financial planner will tell you, pay that credit account off every month so you don't have to pay interest on it. If you pay with credit, you're going to pay with interest, obviously. So don't overextend yourself. But if you can limit yourself to that one account and make it a credit account so you're paying with somebody else's money, you're going to be safer in the long run. The other thing that I'll talk about is, as we're in the shopping season, is personal safety. Okay? There's a lot of pickpockets and robberies that go on this time of year too. Because people will follow you when you go to an ATM or go to your bank and then you go shopping. You've got to be vigilant as you're out and about doing your Christmas shopping, doing your grocery shopping for holiday parties or whatever it may be. If you are a man, and I had to learn this the hard way, we like to have real big fat wallets that have a bunch of stuff in there that we've had for 10, 15, 20 years, and some of them we don't even know what it is anymore, but it's been in our wallet for so so long, we don't like getting rid of it. Now, I had one that was so fat and I sat on it for so long that I got back problems. The first thing my surgeon told me to do was put your wallet in your front pocket. So I had to clean out my wallet, get rid of all that extraneous junk that I didn't need, and I now carry this little bitty thing in my front pocket. It's better for my health. It's also going to be a lot harder for anybody to get off of me. Pickpockets exist. They're out there. We don't have that in here as some of the major cities do, but they're out there. Keep your keys, keep your important personal belongings in here. Women, if you are carrying a purse, which I know you all are, and you're very particular about your purses, I have found over years, which is why I don't try to buy one for a woman anymore. Zip it up. Get one that has a closure. Keep it with you. Particularly, it drives me crazy when I'm out shopping myself, particularly at the grocery store, because that seems to be where I am most often. And I will see somebody pushing a cart, purse right there in the middle in the front, where in the baby seat or whatever, wide open. And then that person will stop the cart, walk over here and look at it, see something off the shelf. Your whole life is in that bag. It is not very hard for somebody to walk by, swipe it, keep walking, and you don't even realize it until you get to the register and like, oh my goodness, where's my stuff? Keep it closed. If it's got a zipper, zip it. If it's got a clasp, put it over, lock it, and don't walk away from it. If you take your husband with you shopping and you have to go somewhere else, put that man next to your purse and tell him not to leave until you get back. That's what my wife does, and I hate it, but I got to do it. Be personally safe, okay? Same thing with your keys. People will try to get your car. It's not hard to find a car now because you have these keys that all have a button on them to lock and unlock. If I get your keys out of your purse and I walk into the parking lot, all I got to do is start pushing a button. Boop, boop, boop. Which horn is honking? Now I know where your car is. I get in your car, guess what else is usually in your car? Registration. Now I know your address. Do you have a garage door opener? Now I can get in your house. You've got to be vigilant and keep yourself safe. It's hard for us as God-fearing people who want to love our neighbor, who are called to love our neighbor, and want to believe that everybody else is doing the same thing. It's hard for us to think about that stuff. But I want you to be safe. I want you to be vigilant. I don't want you to be a victim. I'd much rather meet you on a night like this where we can have a conversation than when you come to my office as a victim and I have to put you on the witness stand and have you testify about what happened to you. And drag you through the court system. That's not nearly as much fun. So is there any questions about that, about how to keep yourself safe while you're out shopping and things? Yes, ma'am.
I have one, and it's not secure. Was how they have these bricks, I think they call it, that can pick up on your pod, your key entry, and get in your car and drive off.
Unfortunately, yeah, there is technology out there that can clone cell phones and pick up radio waves and things like that.
Is it happening a lot in this area?
No, I don't have cases like that where I'm seeing a whole lot of that. So I will acknowledge, yes, it exists and it can happen. I will say that that happens most frequently in the most ritzy and affluent parts of America.
Yes.
Thieves go where the most money is, and that's not my neighborhood. But yes, it does exist. And frankly, I don't know how to not, I don't have any other way to get into my car other than that. So you got to be vigilant and be on the lookout for what's around you. But if somebody has got technology deployed where they're picking up radio waves, you're probably not going to know about it, unfortunately. There's not a neon sign that says, hey, this is what I'm doing.
They're running actually in the neighborhoods in D.C. with that technology and picking
does get taken a lot of times. You'll see it they will do a lot of small transactions like that, little testers. So the other place I need you to be vigilant is like when you're going to the gas station and you're swiping your card. There are readers. Actually, we just arrested 2 Romanians here in Chesapeake within the last month who were putting readers on convenience stores. So it's an international thing. But it will look like where you tap your card or swipe your card through, but it's a separate reader, and what they're doing is taking all the information off of your card. Then they have your credit information. You'll see a lot of small charges first. Testers. Okay? It's happened to me once. I happened to be on a Saturday morning doing my normal routine on Saturday morning. I pay my bills and do my banking and things, and I was literally on my computer looking at my bank account, paying my bills, and I saw a pop-up for a pizza in Rochester, New York. I have never in my life been in Rochester, New York. And it just so happened that I happened to be looking at it when it happened there. Somebody had gotten my number, probably from one of those card readers, it's called a skimmer, from one of those skimmers, and had used it. I was able to block the transaction, call the bank right at that point, because unlike, I wasn't smart that time, like Pastor Dan just said, and I had used my debit card, because I'm a dummy, and not a credit account, but I was able to block it. But then I also had to wait a week until the new card came in. So that's always a headache and a hassle that you have to deal with. But when you are swiping your card, either at a cash register or on a gas pump or wherever it may be, take a look at the thing. How solid is it? If it's a little wiggly, if it kind of jumps out from the machine more than it doesn't look right, don't use it. Because what they've done is lay it over top of what is really there. And that reader will steal your card information. Then they'll do those tester, get that information, get your card, they'll do those testers, $1, $2, $5, whatever it may be. And if that works, now I know the card works, now I'm going to try 50. Now I'm going to try 70. Now I'm going to try 500. And I'm going to keep going until the card says no. Yes, ma'am.
I heard, is it true, is it more safer if you're shopping with your debit card to tap?
It is. It's harder for the skimmers are generally swipes. There are technology is always advancing. There are skimmers that are on the taps, but yes, the taps in general are safer than the swipe. Where you insert the card, the chip card where you put it in, is generally safer than the swipe. Of the 3 ways you can pay with the card at a register, swipe is the least safe. Sticking it in is a little bit safer. Tapping it is the most safe. And that's why most banks and cards have gone to the tap system. Same thing with tapping with your phone. If you do Apple Pay or Google Pay or anything like that. It's a great question. Anything else? Okay. Well, I ask you to please be safe as we go through the holiday season. I wish you all a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And I hope I get to talk to you again in this setting and not in a law enforcement one. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you, everybody, for coming out. I got one last tip for you. I seen it online. This is for the ladies. Don't put your pocketbook on the back of your chair. Don't put your purse on the back of the chair. Because people, it's been shown, will take that purse while you're sitting there enjoying dinner and be out of the restaurant before you know it. You out know what I'm talking about? Know how you hang the purse right on there? Don't do that. I know. I ain't putting my purse on the floor. Put it somewhere that you can keep your eye on it, all right? Okay, let's thank God again for Attorney Mark. Thanks for coming out, sharing with us. Make sure you pass this information along. We'll make sure that the live feed is up and broadcast and all that. People can go back and watch it. We got plenty of handouts. bless you and keep you, and heaven smile upon you.